What's going on, everyone? My name is Cynic and welcome to another Is It Worth It video. This is episode number 28, I believe, inside of the series. I've done a lot of these videos. I kind of lost track. I'm going strictly based off of the playlist. But welcome back. Now, before we continue on with the epic of today, I kind of want to bring you guys up to speed with how these videos are going to continue on as far as this series and the epic versus epic series goes. Now that director's cut is a thing, the weapon reviews, I guess, are going to be a little bit different. Whereas before, I would talk kind of about the gun itself, and then whenever bang bangs or dewdrops would be needed, then I would obviously tell you at this run, hey, you need to get bang bangs or pick up dewdrops for that added benefit to keep your weapon kicking and to be going strong. Now, director's cut practically gives you everything from the start. So now the reviews are going to be strictly based around double pack-a-punching, what would be a good time, how to get the most out of your ammunition, and exactly the overall round that a weapon taps out at. We're also going to talk about whether if I think a weapon's even worth wasting your time on. And you'll see what I mean during today's review. But anyways, with that out of the way, let's get started on today's epic. Today we're going to be talking about the DCM8 Epitaph. Now, the Epitaph reminded me a lot of Cyclopean, mainly because you don't get the epic benefits, or you don't get the full potential of the epic's benefits until you're already done with the magazine. What I mean by this is whenever you're playing with Cyclopean, you'll notice that once the gun reaches its full power, you already have to reload, and the Epitaph is kind of the same way. So the selling point of the Epitaph is focus fire, which basically means that the longer you're hip firing with this gun, the tighter your hip spread is going to become. Now, after experimenting a little bit with this gun, it looks like by the 7th to 8th shot, you're reaching the tightest hip spread that you can actually get. And considering that the DCM8's mag is capped out at 16 rounds, you can't go any higher considering it's an energy-based weapon, you have to basically burn through half of your magazine in order to reach your tightest hip spread, which is not at all a good thing considering that the DCM8 is already shit for ammunition. So keep that in mind. And of course, I'm talking about the weapon being non-packed. If you have it packed once, you are a little bit safer, but you're not at your safest point until you have it double packed, which is at 35 rounds. But again, keep in mind, every time you're trying to hit your potential to get the tightest hip spread possible, you're wasting 8 shots just to get to that point. But anyways, moving on, the second trait that comes with the Epitaph is stability, which personally I think is a little bit of a mistake. A stockpile should have came with this weapon, considering, like I said, you'll be wasting 8 rounds and it's an energy weapon, so you can't get extended mag. And considering stability is practically the same thing as what its epic trait already does, it's kind of like you're getting 2 things that do the same thing. It's kind of pointless, you know? Stockpile would have been a much better trait for this gun, but unfortunately it's just stability. So it's kind of stupid that they decided to go with a trait that basically does the same thing as its epic trait versus get stockpile, which would have complemented focus fire very nicely. But anyways, I guess it is what it is. Now, a couple months ago, I played on someone's account and I actually got some footage of the Epitaph. I never threw the video up, but back then my response was basically the Epitaph was a giant waste of time. It burned through ammunition like crazy, and like I just said, you have to waste 8 shots in order to get the full potential of your epic's perks, and it basically doesn't do anything else that any other DCM8 variant would do. Especially you got dewdrops, then practically your hip spread is cemented in place, so there's really no point to the Epitaph. You know, it's nothing unique. I wouldn't say it's an epic, especially when it comes to zombies. I'm sure in multiplayer it's kind of useful if you're a run and gun player, but inside of zombies it just wasn't there. It was just a waste of time. Now, inside of the Beast from Beyond, it's actually a wall weapon, so it does have a little bit more usefulness, but I would still say it is a little bit of a waste of time, especially since I have director's cut or anyone else can just pick up dewdrops. And like I said, with dewdrops, your iron sights or crosshairs are cemented in place. So why drop 4,000 salvage when you can practically just pick up this perk in any of your game for 1,500 points? And this applies to every single weapon. And I'd imagine with every single DCM8 variant, it works perfectly fine. At least I'm just assuming that. I don't really like the DCM8, so I don't pick it up too much inside of zombies. But anyways, at the end of the day, the Epitaph is nothing special. There's no increase in ammunition, there's no damage buff, there's no increase in fire rate, there's nothing besides a tighter hip spread at the cost of wasting 8 shots, which, like I said, non-packed is half your magazine. So I would say, at least in terms of zombies, stay away from the Epitaph. It's not worth the time. But I think that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today's Is It Worth It episode. I know today was gonna be short. The Epitaph has nothing special. Like I said, everything's gonna be revolving around director's cut now, so these videos from here on out might be a little shorter. That's if I continue with them. I'm not too sure. I may update a few here and there, as I'm getting asked a lot to update the Sentinel and the Mammoth, which I will update an epic versus epic, but I'm not too sure how many more of these I'm gonna do. Now, just to end on some closing notes, if you guys ever want to play a game with me, feel free to join my PlayStation community. That's down in the description. If you guys ever want to get a hold of me, feel free to reach me over on Twitter and on Instagram. Those links are also in the description. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Hopefully it did help you out and save you 4,000 salvage. Stay away from the Epitaph. Seriously, save yourself the headache. But anyways, my name is Cynic. Thank you guys so much for watching and stopping by. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Later on, I will be live streaming and hosting open lobbies, try to get as many Easter eggs out of the way. But until later on, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you next time.